Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome to our Friday night live stream where we're going to be doing some development on some OpenTTD mods. We're still working on scripts and we're doing different bits of code and functions to make something bigger. Now I'll get to that in a little while, but hello everybody, welcome to the stream. How are we all doing? So we've got some of the moderators in tonight as well as some of the channel members. Hi Fran the Man, Stay Pie Sister. How are we all doing? Hi, evening Gerard, WeW and Chexo Kid and a load of other people popping in as well. So then, what's been going on? Well, Fran the Man has just sent a gift membership. So thank you very much, Fran the Man, for sending that. It's a good way to start the stream, isn't it? And we've got some good news as well for the stream situation. Tonight will not be the last stream of the week. I've put an extra stream in for Sunday, so check out the event scheduled on my channel and on Discord. It's going to be on this channel, the gaming channel. So you've got an extra stream this week. And in addition to that, there's a monthly giveaway on the go now. So the October monthly giveaway is for Manor Lords. That recently had quite a big update, and it all looks pretty cool. So go to portal.masterhellish.net to take part if you want to get involved with that. And the Master Hellish OpenTTD server is of course still running. New viewer plus subscriber. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. We've got a resub here. Who's that? Oh, there's lots of I's and L's and it's really small on my screen. I need to like zoom in. Laurie Lily. You know what? I need the Hat of Doom on. You know what? I should have a badge that I have to wear when I don't get people's names right. So, and what's even worse, it's your birthday. So you'll probably have to watch most of it as a VOD later. Well, I'm glad that you came by. It's nice to see you. Thank you very much. You got a gift membership, I think. No, it wasn't a gift membership. I'm getting confused here. There we go. The dev hat is on. There we are. No, the hat is for development. The hat is not for that. It's not for getting people's names wrong. But happy birthday! Hope you're having a fantastic day, and thank you very much for being viewer plus. There we are. There goes your name from the newest sub. Now you see you're getting confused. See, you got a gift sub, and that's a membership on YouTube. That is different to viewer plus. Okay, so viewer plus is YouTube. Sorry. The gift memberships and the memberships is YouTube's thing, then the subs is Twitch thing, and I have Viewer Plus. It's my own thing. Okay, so all the Viewer Plus stuff, that's something different. You can see all the differences on there. Viewer Plus you can get on there, and you can get some extra benefits. Yeah. Oh, you also recently did your Viewer Plus as well. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, fair enough. Your streams have been one of the really good things of this year. I mean, I'm glad to hear it. There's been a lot of people that have had tough years and tough times. So it's nice that we're here as a community and we can do things like this. And I mean, I was just sat here thinking, watching the time, getting myself ready and looking at the chat, and everybody was saying hi to each other and all that sort of thing, and it's so nice of you all. Yeah. Fran the Man says there was a sneak peek earlier for Viewer Plus. I can't wait. Yes, there was. So I posted something to Viewer Plus earlier today, and I was like, hey, you lot, look at this. Any feedback? And the feedback was, wow, love it. So that's going live tomorrow. It's going live midday UK time, and yes, it is. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. It took me quite a long time to make that little thing, but I hope you all enjoy that tomorrow on YouTube. Yeah. Tell you what, doing the event handler is fun and mind-numbing at the same time. Chaser Kid's working on the code. Gerard says currently in a briefing related to it. Hang on. Oh, I see. Actually, I think Gerard's getting confused between two different exciting things that are going on. Okay, so there's one exciting thing, which is the stream scheduled for Sunday, and there's another exciting thing where it's happening. There's the thing's going out tomorrow lunch. So there's two exciting things this weekend. There's exciting things happening left, right, and centre. So I hope you all get on board with everything, and you're watching the videos and you're like, oh, new video, we had 60 of OpenTTD's AIs have a battle, and there was a twist for the hog. If you haven't seen that video, you can go check that out. Yeah. Gerald says, I missed tomorrow's thing, but I guess from some other people's messages, and you guessed wrong. You did actually, Gerald. There's actually something else that's exciting that's happening tomorrow midday, and then the thing that you're thinking about is the thing that's happening on Sunday, which is unrelated to the thing that's happening Saturday. And I'm not going to spoil it, so there we go. So there you go. Don't forget to get involved with the monthly giveaways. Now, on Monday, we have our community gaming night over on the Variety channel. Go check out the Variety channel. There's a link to it at the bottom of my website, as well as the bottom of my channel page, because we're getting together and playing Factorio. So come on the Discord, go to the community gaming night channel, and get involved if you want to play Factorio. And we're going to be doing that for a few weeks on Mondays on the Variety channel. And I think that will do. Just a reminder, everybody, do indeed... like the stream. Normally by now, Fran the Man's G'ing everybody on, telling everybody to like the stream, but I think Fran the Man's slacking tonight, so I'll do it myself. And I'm just going to double check something, because I think I might have some inaccurate information. Oh no, actually, that is still accurate, but only just. Okay, so there we go. Right, yes, what an intro tonight. I am both completely exhausted and completely excited for this week and next week. Is all sorts of things going on. And Wednesday's video? Yeah, no, yesterday's video. Yesterday's video is going quite well. Give it all the support you can. If you haven't made a comment on it and you haven't liked it, just nip back on the video. Make sure you do that. But tonight we're gonna do some coding, which is why I've got the coding hat on. I think I like wearing this as the coding hat. If you see a stream and I'm wearing this, you know it's dev time, right? Dev time. Speaking of dev time, oh, that worked first time, didn't it? The button. Let's zoom in though, so you guys can see better, right? Okay, folks. So the script that we're working on is called Hellish Royale, right? And I am serious. I'm very serious. And in that script, we've got some plans of different things that we're going to do. There's going to be events, quests, rewards, tools, fail conditions, and other possible things, right? And we're slowly working through these, implementing them, and then we're just going to knit them all together. So last time, I'll say recently, we had a look at disasters, and we did an earthquake disaster, which shakes the screen around. We did a town growth explosion, which basically makes the town grow crazy. I mean, crazy. And then we also started doing an EMP one, which I said I'd get finished between streams, but I haven't managed to do that yet. So there's a lot going on. You know what? If I don't get things like making this function done between streams, but then you see the sort of stuff that's coming out tomorrow and the sort of thing that we're doing on Sunday, yeah, you'll understand why. And then after doing the disasters, we started doing some quests. So what we did is we used the subsidy system in OpenTTD to create some custom subsidies. And we defined, we got the list of towns and we defined 2 different towns. And we checked the distances between them and made sure that they were within certain parameters related to the size of the map. Now this needs rewriting because I had a word with DP after last week's live stream. And apparently the town IDs aren't necessarily sequential. And if I had thought about it, yes, that makes sense because of the different things that can happen in a game. So what we need to do, instead of just getting the number of towns and then just using that to get an ID randomly, okay, we actually need to get the list of towns and randomly pick a town out that list and get its ID. Okay, which is what I was trying to do in the first place until somebody said, oh, you can just do it like this. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But no, that needs fixing. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll add a to-do in here. I can't remember how I'm forming these to-dos. Oh, never mind. To-do in here, we've got to redo this. Hang on, why am I typing this? We can't do IDs like this. They cannot be guaranteed to be sequential. So we need to get a random town and pull its ID. Okay. So there's that update there. So that's what we did last time. We did disasters the time before. We did some quests this time. This time, what did it say in the title we're doing? What did it say in the title? Custom delivery quests. Okay, so we're still on the quests, but we're doing a brand new delivery quest. Let's go over to the API. So this is the OpenTTD GameScript API. This tells us all the different functions and classes that we can utilize to do stuff, right? There we are. Oh, above the line, 9 months of membership. Wow. Hi there, what have you missed? Basically an introduction where I said there's an exciting video coming out tomorrow lunchtime, and then we've got an extra live stream on Sunday, which is also exciting, but those two exciting things are unrelated. So that's what you've missed, and I've just kind of introduced people a little bit into what we're currently doing. And now we're going to try and do a custom delivery quest. So, somewhere we need to think about how this can be done. And I'm not sure if we thought this through previously. And let's have a look at the plans. So, just deliver X cargo to Y. Right? So, there is something in towns, I think, where you can see what cargo has been delivered. And we did this before. We had like a cargo counter, didn't we? Oh yeah, set cargo goal. So it sets the goal of the cargo per economy month, sorry, for this town. Okay. Hang on. I've got too many layers on here. I can't tell if my spectacles are on properly. I've got my spectacles behind my ears, and then I've got my hat on, and now I've got the headset over the ears. There we go. Yeah, and there's and then you can get the cargo goal. Oh, that's for it to grow. Okay, so these particular cargo goals are for it to grow. Okay, and then you can set growth rates and stuff. So what we don't care about that. We want to just track how much cargo has been delivered, right? And we can do that, right? So because we already have a cargo tracker script. If we come up here, cargo tracker, that I think is version V1, right? Let's have a look. Cargo tracker, yeah, version 1. Right, so cargo tracker is kind of done, all the basics have been implemented. So if we go to the main, the main file here, look, this is a cargo tracker, it gets initiated, it tells you what ID's been tracking. We made this in a live stream. And there's some events, right? So somewhere down here there is tracking for stuff. Let's see. And now this here is updating company league tables. Ah, here we go. This company delivered cargo, right? Brandon's like, yes, this is code. Hi. Could you optionally lock the town growth besides such custom delivery requests? Maybe, but I don't want the custom delivery request to show up like that. I don't think. Because I'm not sure why. We're going to need a few functions here. We're going to need a function to like create the quest. Then we're going to need a function that checks to see if the quest is complete as well, and that one's going to have to be run on a regular basis. Okay. Fran the Man says if we get to 30 likes on the stream, they'll gift another YouTube membership. Well, we're currently at 14. Last time I checked. See, nearly halfway there, chat. Right, so this is basically the kind of thing that we're looking for. But we're looking at the company delivered cargo stuff. Where do we store that? Right, so that's the previously delivered cargo. Alright, we don't want that. We want the delivery amount. Here we go. So what we do is for the town. Now in this one, we get the town ID of the one that's near the HQ. So then we get town delivery amount. It's the company, the cargo, and the town. So all we need to do is keep checking this cargo delivery monitor, right, for each company to see if the amount that comes back is like meets the target. But if I remember correctly, this delivery amount is just how much since you last checked. Right then, so we've got a decision to make here. So we can either put this quest up for grabs, right, and allow people to try and achieve it and keep checking to see if anybody's achieved it. Or instead of keep checking if somebody has achieved that particular goal, what we can do is give it a finish date. So obviously the start date will be when the quest starts, then there's a finish date. And what we can do is we can say the company that delivered the most rather than a particular amount, right? So the quest will be deliver, valuables to a particular town and by a certain date. And by that certain date, it'll be the company that did the most. And I think that would probably be the cleanest way of doing it. What does chat think about that? Do you understand what I'm saying? I wish I had a whiteboard. I could do with a whiteboard just like here so I could draw stuff. But I think... no, I can draw on this. Which is most evil? If I get a new screen, I can draw on my screen. So what we can do is we can create the quest. Okay. So there's a game loop. Right, which loops round and round. And what we can do, decide to create the quest, okay? And then what we can do is that when the game loop goes around, we can interrogate that quest to see if it's ended or not, right? And if it has ended, then we can loop through the companies, right, and look at like which company has the greatest cargo amount delivered, and then that company that has the greatest, that one wins, right? It's supposed to be a crown. So that's one way of doing it. And obviously, if it hasn't ended, if the quest hasn't ended yet, then like nothing happens. It just goes back into the loop. The other way of doing it is that every loop, we obviously check the quest. Okay, we look at the quest, and then we say, oh, which town is it? And then we then look at the town and to see how much cargo's been delivered for each company, right? And we check to see if any company has delivered greater than the target to that particular town. Now the problem here is that we could end up with duplicate ways of it happening. So we could end up with more than one company that have achieved the target at the same time within this one single check here that we're doing within that loop. But it could also happen over here, because you could, in theory, have two companies that delivered exactly the same amount of cargo. So essentially, there's two different ways of doing it, and I don't know what to do. Now, to me, just check, giving it an end date works the best, right? Is it possible to measure the amount of goods delivered and not the profit? Yeah, that's what we're doing, Hinkus Maximus. So all of these is delivered quantity, okay? Choose based on the last time said cargo was delivered. We can't do that with the API. The only thing you can do, I believe, is look at how much was delivered since the last time you looked. That's how it's set up to work. That's how the tracking of cargo works in the OpenTTD API. So you say, hey, I want to track the cargo at this town, and it will just keep an eye for all deliveries of that cargo type. And then you say, right, how much has been delivered? And it brings back a value of number of units. That's why I think this red one might be the way to go, because it mimics the way that the API has been written. The API has been written for start tracking, okay, stop, what's the result? Which works well for this. But if we wanted to, we could implement it the other way. We just have to keep a count of the cargo amounts ourselves every time we check. So you'd be like, have they done enough yet? Oh no, add that in. Have they done enough yet? Oh no, add it in. Have they done enough yet? Oh no, add it in. Has it got enough up yet? Oh, it has. Okay, finally we got it. We can stop tracking, you know. So we're going to have... There's two different ways of doing it. We could do it both ways, actually. We could have two different sorts of quests. Like the first one to reach an amount, and then we can have reach an amount before the end. So yeah. You could potentially extend the quests by 1 month and compare again. Yeah, but you'd lose progress unless we saved it. You may need a leaderboard for the goal, and I think that might be a good way. You know what, Chegso Kid? I think you're right. And I think we need to use the cargo tracker to do it. Hinkus Maximus, I think it'd be cool when this is done if you could set up the quests. If you could set up if quests should come and go, or if it should be a quest for the whole game. Maybe. I mean, if you just want one quest for the whole game, that's the cargo tracker script. We already have that. I think I agree with Chegso Kid of having a leaderboard. You can create a substay and get the event. Yeah, but you can't track how much. The event is just when a substay has been successfully achieved, right? So it's when it's gone from A to B. It's gone from A to B, it's done. We're talking about quantity of cargo that has been delivered. So I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like the slightly more complicated way makes the most sense in a battle royale, because then you're battling for the quantities and you've actually got you got a way to track it as well. So yeah, okay. You can make a leaderboard, ensure that the first to deliver X amount of cargo and will remain number one over less overtaken this way on unit for the quest. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. It's going to be complicated. It's going to be it's going to be more complex than the other way of doing it. But the good news is that we've got the cargo tracker, and that already does exactly the same thing. So we can use most of that maybe. The only problem is I almost feel like the cargo tracking quest should have its own file. It's just so big by itself. Also, something I wanted to check, right? This is our main class here. We've got like class variables at the top of the class here. Oh, it has to be defined in the class. I was hoping that we would be able to just do something similar in here. Okay. Let's... I feel like this needs to be its own file. No, I haven't seen the fall of Diesel. I don't have experience about how these particular scripts like to play. You know what? We can always move it into its own file. Let's just start a function. Stop just procrastinating about what might be going on. So here we go. We're going to do a brand new function. I'm going to copy an existing one just to get like some of the basic sort of layout going on. There we go. We'll take out the middle, take out all this stuff here. Right, so we're going to do cargo ID and town, I think. Do we want it from a random town? Oh, that's the thing we don't... Right, town ID. We might change that later. You can define the variables there as they are global and no other function can use them. That's how you set up the debugger. So as long as I don't define them inside a function, they'd be global variables for the script. Okay. Fair enough. Let's... I'm going to try and pull the cargo tracker out. Can I pull it out? Where's it gone? There it is. Right. So I'm looking at the cargo tracker on another screen just to help keep things a little bit more clean on my side. So the first thing that you need to do is that we need to set up some stuff, right? So we're going to need to set up a league table. When you set up league tables, you have to worry about companies, new companies. You know what? Maybe we won't handle new companies and bankrupt companies and mergers for these quests. Like, it'll just take the companies that were available at the beginning of the quest, right? So let's create a league table. Right. So there we go. That's how we create a league table. It has an ID that gets returned from this variable, yeah? Can you get it to trigger when the cargo is unloaded for the town? Get what to trigger? Okay, so we're... This is the cargo tracked here, so the cargo ID. Let's get rid of that. Table title. Let's hard code that for now. So, it's not a custom subs either. So this is going to be create delivery quest. Is it a delivery quest? Yeah, delivery quest. And then we'll just call it delivery request in the title for now. Yeah. You recommend looking it up? I mean, that sounds like something that would be good to bring up in the Discord. Can you get it to trigger when a cargo is unloaded for the town? So it won't ask, so it won't constantly ask how much is being delivered. No, because then I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely. We definitely want to keep on topic. We don't want to go on any side quests like that tonight. So that will set up the create the league table, right? And then we have an event handler for when a company is created, and it adds a league table element for each one. So here we go. Hang on a second. So this is the league table company data thing. Now the problem with this is it's set up to use some global variables, company delivered cargo and company names. Now this is set up to, if people change the company name, it changes in the table, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to use the actual company name at the time the quest starts, and then that's it, because we're going to be using IDs in the background anyway, so it doesn't matter. Later, if we want to, we could always upgrade the script to handle that. I want to keep it simple to begin with. So we've got the company name here. We're not going to put that into a thing. We are going to track the company delivered cargo, and that is going to put a value of 0 in for our delivery quest. But this is the company delivery quest cargo. Okay, change the name of it is. Have I got? There we go. Get it the right way around. Fran the Man sent a gift membership, which means we got more than 30 likes on the stream. So thank you very much, everybody, for liking the stream. And thank you very much, Fran the Man, for gifting a membership there. And James got the gifted membership. So we need now to be able to have this particular company delivery quest cargo variable defined somewhere. So it's, I believe it's like a standard sort of list. So let's declare that here for now, just outside the function. That might work. I think that should work, but we might need to move it later or do it slightly differently. So we then go through, do all the elements. I don't necessarily want all of these extra bits of help, but that'll do. So that should create a table for one company. Look, the company ID, one company. But what we need to do is actually go through all of the companies. Oh yeah, Brandon's got the correct reason there. Where did I miss? There we go. So we need, so that's for one company, but we need to do that for all the company, and it's getting it from the event, and then the company event, and it gets the ID, right? So instead of doing that, we need to get a list of companies and just iterate through them and get the ID and use the ID. And I can't think of anywhere where we already do that. What does DGEgg script for the... Okay, so it looks like egg script just handles the first company, so that's no good for us. The stats tracker, actually, that does loop through companies, right? So what it does... What's that? That's handle events. For each... Oh, no, it doesn't loop through the companies. It just goes through an entire list of vehicles. So there's not an example of that one there either. And the cargo tracker, I don't think loops through... Oh, it does loop through, actually. Yeah, we do. How does the cargo tracker loop through companies? Let's have a look. So... It doesn't do it in a very good way. It does it in a for loop, right? Look at this. Look at this terrible for loop. Okay. So it says it gets the first company and it gets the ID of the last company and just goes through all the IDs. Although having said that, as long as you have a check to see if it's a valid ID or not, that'll work. So it's not terrible. Do I have a check? There's a check to see if the company has... No, there is. There is a check. Okay, so it was done properly. Brilliant. So all we've got... well, I say it was done properly. We've got this line of code here that basically says resolve the company ID, and if it's not invalid company, then that's where all the logic happens. But I don't actually want to do that. I want to do the opposite. I want to say if it is equal to company invalid, then we're going to break from this particular for loop, or we'll continue. Oh, it's not a capital. There we go. So we'll continue. And what that does, it just goes to the next ID. Yes. Thank you. So what we've done, we've got the first ID and the last ID, and we're looping through them, assuming that every single one exists. But if it doesn't exist, we skip that bit of the loop, and then we go on to the next bit. And then this is going to now go through and do everything. So we don't get the company ID from the event. We get the company ID from the loop. Okay. And then with that company ID, we create the element and pop their ID in the cargo list. So there we go. Actually, create the league table company. Should really be probably down here. That's companies. There we go. So in theory now, if I call this function, it will create a league table with all the companies in it. So I think it's about time we actually tested that, don't you? So let's go over to the main class. There's an init section that we are using to... a post init. Here we are. We're using this for testing. Last time we was creating a substate. This time we are calling the create delivery request function. We'll give it an ID of 00. And we'll comment out the rest. And then I'll just quickly nip back here. Yep, that looks fine. It looks like we're missing a set of brackets. Yes, we're missing a set of brackets for the for loop. In fact, we're missing a little bit of indentation as well. There we go. So in theory now, whenever we start a game, we should get a league table with a list of all the companies in it. Now, there'll only be one company at the beginning of the game. Always just the initial company. But that, as long as we get that created, we know this is working, at least for that. And normally this wouldn't happen at the very beginning of the game anyway, right? So where's my... I've got a folder ready. I've got a script that I can run. What that script does is it pulls all of these files and throws it into OpenTTD. And then we can just launch OpenTTD, which actually I haven't got running yet. So what do we think? Do we think it's going to work first time? I don't know. Let's jump over to OpenTTD. Just need to double check. And I don't want any AIs. GRFs probably should be empty. Yep. And let's go... No, not settings. Game script. Choose the script. And it is the Master Hellish Battle Royale script. And we'll do a new game. Well, there's no errors. Not yet, anyway. So then if we go debug... Oh, there we go. Right. Your script made an error. Company delivered cargo does not exist. Right, so this is what I was talking about the scope of that particular variable. Syntax error on line 72. Well, we didn't get to line 72. Let's go back. Right. So here it's trying to update or it's trying to insert a record into this list, right? But it can't access this object. Oh, hang on. Let me double check that that's the right object. No, company delivered cargo. Oh, is it? Oh, it's complaining about this. Hang on a second. I think, yeah, because it's not been declared inside the actual class. Might need to put it somewhere else. Friday night programming time. Lovely. Yeah, I mean, once OpenTTD Series 12 starts, we will do 2 weeks of programming, 2 weeks of trip down memory lane, and then just go backwards and forwards. Yeah. So with this needs sorting out. Do I need to just declare it as local because it's in this file? Must you not declare it inside the function? It needs to be able to access from multiple functions, Rasmus. So we need to declare it outside the function so that more than one function can use it. In which case we might need to declare this in the class. Add them from the line 5 of the main not file. Yeah, I think it might need to go there, Chegzokid. Ideally, I want to avoid doing that because I want to separate the responsibilities of the quests from the main game script controller class. But I might need to do that. Let's give this a quick test and see if that helps. So, back over to OpenTTD. Restart. Yeah, that's even worse. We just outright crashed. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, it did later. Oh, we got down to line 66. Oh, there we go. Oh, right. Okay, so that seemed to have fixed it. Why don't you make another class then? I'm going to, Rasmus. I'm going to make another class, and then we'll have this all inside it. But what I decided was I just wanted to get the function started, get the function working, and then maybe get the other function working, and then we'll put them all inside their own class, and it'll probably be better. So we've got this here that shows... Oh, I see. Yes, I remember now. So if you look in the lang of cargo tracker, we've got this cargo track thing that tells you the cargo that's being tracked and it puts it in orange. I want that. So we're going to just borrow it. We're going to borrow it and put it in the lang of the Hellish Royale. So we'll shove that in there. That's what that error was all about. Then I will run my script and we'll give it another run, another try. Right, so now table ID doesn't exist. Oh yeah, we were storing that as well, weren't we? Do we need to store the table ID? I think we do. Yeah, we do. Alright then, fine. So we did... Yeah, table ID. So if we go now to quests, do the same here. Put that as a local variable in this particular file. We might be alright. If you want to the variables in the other functions, you need them in the main. Well, only functions that are in this file will need access to these variables, right? So it might be that we can do that here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Give it a go. I'm not sure how Squirrel handles this. So it's a bit of discovery. There we are. Look, no major error. We've got a minor error. Okay. What's this? We've got an end of statement on... Your script made an error. End of statement expected. Where? 6037. Yeah, look at this. 6037. Oh, I accidentally put a dot there. Yeah. I don't know. That's just fat fingers, isn't it? Eh? Right. There we go. We've got a big one. Table ID doesn't exist. What? I thought we just did that. We did. Okay, so we haven't got down to this bit yet where it's going all wrong. Yeah, okay. Right, fine. We'll put them in the main nut for now. Okay. So now they're global variables, right? Yeah, I removed that. Check second. We're cool. We're cool. So that should fix that problem. Let's go back to OpenTTD. Rerun. We've got a different one now. Company League Table Element IDs. Oh, did we have to? Oh, we had to store that as well, did we? All right, fair enough. I just missed that we... Hang on a minute. My scene didn't change on my end. Oh, because I already had a window open. Oh, I've got two windows open. Right, I need this here as well. Company League Table Element IDs. We're probably going to have to like wipe them out between each quest. And we're going to have to also have a checker to say, is there a quest running? Because if there is a quest running, we don't want a new quest. And if we do, then we need a way of handling multiple quests at the same time, because these will all override each other and it'll be an absolute mess. Hang on a second, folks. Okay, right. Throw the files over to OpenTTD. This time no major error, no minor error. Unpause and have a look here. Yeah, look, we've got a delivery quest table. And the cargo is passengers and our unnamed company is there. And it's with a score of 0. Right? So the bit we've done now works. We've got a table to track it. It took too long, but never mind. What's next? I think you can have the quest table and it will allow you to store the elements inside it, so you have multiple questions running. Maybe. What if there's 0 companies? That'll be empty. It'll just be created empty. You'll create the table with 0 elements. But now we need to be able to actually go, oh, right, hang on a second. This quest has been created. We need to check to see if anybody's completed it. So what we've done now works. And the problem is that when you start a game, there is always one company created automatically in the init, okay? That unnamed company is automatically created. But I can show you in the code that we have this for loop to create each company in the table. This is basically each row of the table. So it'll basically come say, oh, it'll be for each, it'll get the first company ID, which is probably nothing. And it'll get the last company ID, which is probably nothing. And it'll try and get nothing and nothing, resolve the company as nothing, and then just continue and fall out of the loop. Probably. But, yeah, we can cross that bridge maybe when we come to it. So, we've got the town ID, which we're not using yet. Let's get a message popped up, right? So before we create the table, no, actually, after we create everything. All right. We're going to say we'll do what? We'll do the news. Hey, Dave. Yeah, been a little while. Good to see you. So then we're going to do new quest. Deliver. Oh, we need the quantity. Don't we? Cargo ID, town ID, quantity. Let's mix these around a little bit. I think it should be town ID first, then cargo ID, then quantity. Quantity? Steerpike Sister says, who's looking forward to season 12? Oh, I'm looking forward to season 12. So we want to deliver, and then we need plus quantity plus there, and then we want the name of the cargo. So this. So deliver that much. That cargo. Oh no, we want a space. Space. That cargo to. Oh, hang on a minute. That needs to be in brackets with some spaces. Then the town name. Now, in this case, it's not town ID 1. It's just town ID. Will season 12 have a theme? Yeah. We announced it in my birthday live stream, I think. And just to, for like cleanness, let's put a full stop on the end. Right, so so now the actual quest will be there. So we need to update the init in the main. Where's save, load, start, post in it. Here we go. Because we've got another ID. This is going to be like, let's call it 50. Right. We need to create the goal/quest, and then it will create the league table. I think it is best to start it. What? We need to create the goal, and then it will create the league table. What are you talking about, creating a goal? You mean like a storybook goal? I wasn't going to do that at all. I was just going to have a league table and then delete the league table when the quest is done. I don't think we need the storybook for that. I think the storybook's going to be better for the overarching story of the whole battle, right? Oh, you didn't mean it in that way. Okay. Well, okay. Well, let's see if the changes I've made has messed anything up, right? Well, I am older now. I am older now. That happened. Right. So when we unpause, there we go. Quest, new quest. Deliver 50 passengers to Predding Hall. Should we do it? We can try and do it if you like. So there's the cargo being tracked. Passengers. Doesn't actually tell you where it's going though. We should probably do that as well. And then it's in Predding Hall. So town names displayed. Town directory, I guess. Oh, hang on. We could change it so that when you click on there, it takes you to Predding Hall. Goals can track the quests for you. Create that, then create the league table for it. Oh, I haven't looked at goals. One thing I don't know is whether delivering passengers to the same town counts. I think it does. I haven't looked at goals. I was going to look at that next week for like overarching goals of the whole thing. Have you got any examples, Chexo Kid, you can share on the Discord? I can't find my... Oh, there's the mod dev channel. There's a mod dev channel on the Discord. Discord.masterhellish.net. So in theory, if we deliver people here, nothing will happen because we're not actually tracking anything yet. But we're going to start tracking stuff. So let's get back. So we got this loop, which we are running. Is it every day? Yeah, we're doing it once a day, right? So in this daily loop, we can go and check to see if stuff's been done. So in the cargo tracker, we've got this do month loop. So we did it in the day loop to say, hey, if the month's changed, go and check it. But I'm going to check it every day to begin with. We can decide if we're going to do that differently. And then there's this, it gets the cargo ID that's been tracked. That's a point. I'm not saving which cargo ID has been tracked. Right, it sounds like the game script goals does a whole load of stuff for the tables and deletes the tables. Do we... Right, let's have a look at the goal stuff then. Let's have a look at the goal stuff. Right, here we go. Class that handles some goal-related functions. Okay. So they have gold types. So there is a tile, industry, town, company. Okay, you can have questions and buttons and things. It will not delete it, but we can call a function once the goal is completed. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. So you can check whether it's a valid goal. You can create a new goal. Looks like it does it for the company. Okay, so you'd have to create a goal for each company, which is fair enough. And then you can remove the goal from the list. Once if you got the goal ID, set the destination. So goal type, which can be industry, town, company. Okay, and then the ID of the destination. There's a type and an ID. So we can say industry or town, and we give it a goal ID. So we create the goal, set a destination, set the text of it. Update the progress of the goal. Set as completed. Checks to see if a given goal has been marked as completed. So it doesn't do any of the tracking. You still have to update the progress text. So the progress text would be, oh, you've delivered 5 so far. Oh, you've delivered 4 so far. It's a neat little place to list goals. Definitely think that's a good idea. I think pretty much all quests should be listed on the in here. But I don't think it actually solves any problem. So we should be able to track the we should be able to list the subsidy stuff in here as well. So we still have to do all the stuff that I'm doing now anyway. This just is a nice place to display it for them. So we can add this on the top. In fact, this would be just good to do for all quests. So we can kind of integrate that in, I think, at some point. Subsidy is separate. Everything's separate. I think if we're doing a custom subsidy, we should list it as a goal. Because looking at the functions here, the goals class, all it does is list text. It doesn't actually do anything, right? You can create a goal and remove it. You can set a destination, set some text, set its progress, mark it as completed, check if it's completed, and you can have pop-ups. That's it. It doesn't check the amount delivered or work this out or track that. It's a really good place to display it by the looks of it, but I don't think it's actually going to change the code that I'm about to do. So that is definitely something we'll look at. So here we're getting the cargo ID that we're doing, and we're doing a check. Subsidy is separate. Subsidy expiry, but only one company will be awarded it, so it becomes a race to get the quest, to get the subsidy. Yeah, that's the point. So the subsidy is like the first one to deliver any to this location, and we can track it in the goals. And then we've got our delivery quest, which is just kind of like a different sort of subsidy, like deliver this much to that place. So we're just coming up with a bunch of different ways that we can do these quests. Really, maybe we should rename quests to goals and just have loads of goals in the game, and we can show them as completed and gone and all that sort of thing. Right then. To this bit here. Yeah, we also need to track the ID and the cargo that we're doing in the quest. So, is it a quest? What am I doing? Oh, right, okay, I'm with me. I am with me. I moved them, didn't I? They're up here. So we need the cargo ID that we're currently tracking. Like I said, these don't want to be here. We want to rearrange this, give it its own class. And then we need to track the town. And really we should name these like quest or goal, 1, goal 2 or whatever. Or we can have a goal object and we have a list of goal objects. That's probably the way to do it. That is almost certainly the way to do it. Anyway, cargo ID, town ID. So when we're in the quest.nut, we can do... So this is for creating a quest. What we need next is for checking, right? And this will check the currently created delivery request. So in the cargo tracker, we do all of this stuff. And we're going to have to do something very similar, but I'm going to take it in mess around with it. We'll break it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to break it. So the first thing it does is it gets the cargo ID from a setting, but that doesn't matter because we're tracking it anyway. Then we're going to go through all the companies, which we do want to do. We here are checking if the company has a HQ. We don't care about that. Okay. This is where we update the company name. We don't want to do that either. And then we get the delivery amount. So for... Oh, that's the town ID, which we should know. We don't want the town ID... Oh, we have to track the quantity as well. We have to track everything about this quest. Yeah, what we definitely need to do is have a quest object and have a list of quest objects. Right? So when we create a quest, one of the things we need to do is say this dot quantity is equal to the quantity which we're getting passed in here, so that we save that quantity. And we're not actually saving the town ID, are we? We need to do the same. Why is it sometimes I just completely copy and paste the wrong thing? I have no idea. Not sure. Right, so they're now all in the system. So over here now, we don't need to get this tile index. We don't need to get the town ID. We've got the town ID. So we don't need to check that. We can get rid of this. And this is the cargo delivery amount, right? We don't need the debug. And then we update the league table. So we look at previous cargo delivered. Yeah, and we check it against. I renamed that structure here. Okay, just renamed that because I wanted to make it slightly different. So we get how much cargo was delivered previously for that company, and then we add the new delivery amount to it, and we insert it into that particular slot in the list. We update the score, and we haven't checked anything yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if the new company delivered amount is greater than or equal to the quantity, this dot quantity, I think. Yes. Right? Then that means they've achieved it, right? And if they've achieved it, for now what we'll do is we'll just pop a message up. Say, well done. You did it. Alright. You did it. So in theory now, this will actually create the quest, track the quest in the league table, and check to see if you actually then surpassed the quest quantity. Now there's a lot of temporary stuff in this at the moment, and there's a lot of things that need sorting out for being able to handle multiple quests and things, but let's test it. How many errors are we going to get this time? Eh? How many errors? No major. No minor. The cargo table was created. If I unpause, we get deliver 50 passengers to Preddinghull. We can't click on that though, unfortunately. Okay, fair enough. Let's play the game. Let's put a couple of things in here. New vehicle, bus. Go between those two places. Go. Is it possible to make it clickable? Yes, yes, I think it is. Because what you do is you tell it the news type, which will be town, and then you give it the town ID. And then you click it and it will take you to the town. So in theory, this bus now is just going to keep going backwards and forwards between these two places. Every day, our script should be updating this. So it hasn't delivered anything yet, I don't think. Hang on a second. Oh, that was just a ding. Okay, it just delivered its first thing. So now when the day ticks over, does it update? Oh no, it didn't update the number. That's not good. That's not good. We are tracking passengers. We are delivering passengers. It said Predding Hall. We're at Predding Hall. And it still says 0. No errors. Right then. Let's go have a look. So the first things first, we're going to make it clickable. Right, so you can see here that we want to look at the GS News Create documentation to figure out that. So there is a news. Then that's the news type. That's the reference type. So in this case, it's the town. Right? So that's GS News NR non. Change it to NR town, and then we put the town ID in. So towards the top of the script, we've got the town ID. Put the town ID in there, and that should make it clickable. Should we test that? We'll test that quickly, because that's quick and easy to test. We don't have to like build infrastructure to test it. So restart the script, unpause. There it is. Click on it, takes you to the town. There you go. Small wins. Right, now to have a look at what might actually be the problem. Oh, we're never doing this. I didn't call the function. Look, we've got this daily loop. Where's the daily loop? There you are, do loop. Really, that should have a better name. We need to do that. We need to actually do the check. Now we'll call in the function every day. It should actually check it every day. You've done it in the code, never call in the function. Yeah, you do all that work and then never do it. Yeah, you never actually do it. I'm sorry, I need to put the I butchered your name badge on. Hi, welcome to the stream. We're now just testing whether this works. So reload and unpause. We get it, we click, we go here. We build, we make it work. This time. Maybe. New vehicle, bus. Another thing that we haven't done yet is like allowed the script to be saved and loaded. There's just so much work that will need to be done with that. Right, before that makes a trip, let's have a look at the league table. Right, there we go, there's the league table. So at the moment we're checking this daily. We wouldn't necessarily have to check it daily. So the bus has gone from one place, it's now gone to the other place. Both places should now start registering passengers. The bus has nobody on board yet, but it will have next time it stops. Is it always the same quest? At the moment, yes, because I'm just passing a town ID of 1 and a set amount, right? But you can call the function with the town ID, the quantity, and something else as well. There you are, look. 2. Got to 2. So once that gets to 50, then we should get the notification. So we know it's tracking and it's working for multiple companies because we're using the same code as before. When that gets to 50, we'll get the pop-up saying that we won. I won't actually do anything, but it'll say we won. There we go. So then what we need to do is we need to code the rewards. And when we code the rewards, then the quests will, when you go, oh yeah, you've won the quest, then it'll give you the reward. And what we'll probably do is have that in a separate function. So the function that does the checking will call the quest winner function. We'll keep it separate. But I'm beginning to think we should have a folder for quests and then have separate files for each quest type, maybe. Because some of these are going to be relatively complicated. But it's nice to... hang on. 49. We're getting close. The next delivery should do it for us. We should get the notification. There you go. You did it. We did it! Okay, so the fundamentals of our quest works. Okay, so we're calling the quest here. We're saying town 0, passengers, and 50 of them. And then we're checking, and it does it. Now, we can't really do much more than say you did it, because we don't have any of the rewards yet. So we've got the rewards of like unlocking vehicles and monies and maybe missile strikes, exclusive industries and things. Once we've coded the rewards, we can have a function that says like give award, you know. That's probably a good idea, because also then you have a base script and you can just add a quest to that in future. That is potentially true, Hinkus Maximus, like being able to just like go, oh, drop in quests. Like this cargo tracker script here, it's all in the main script, right? But what we could do is actually pull it out of the main script and then just have the main script call it, which is probably something we should do at some point, right? By the way, if anybody wants to contribute, tweak, improve any of this code, it gets pushed up at the end of every stream. What I do is I check the spelling, maybe put some more comments in, and then push it up. So it goes onto the GitHub. And you can find that on my website. There's a link down the bottom, at the bottom of my website. But it's also on my link tree as well. What's next? I don't know what is next. Have we actually done that? So that is the core of a delivery quest. Okay, now we haven't got the quest. We haven't got the quest controller. Okay, so what we need is we need quests and we need a quest controller. And what we need to do is, like, every day we need to speak to the quest controller and say, you know, manage quests. And the quest controller will go, right, I will manage quests, and it will have a look at all the quests that are currently active and check to see if any of them have expired. And then it'll also go, well, do I need to create a new quest? And it'll say, well, how long ago did we have a quest? What are the odds of doing a new quest considering how long ago the last quest was made? And then it goes, well, I need to create a quest. And if it does, then it calls the correct create quest. So it picks a quest. So we definitely need a quest manager. And we'll have a disasters manager as well. So there'll be a disasters manager that goes, hey, I think it's about time we had a disaster. And it will choose a disaster and activate that disaster. The disaster manager is actually going to be a lot easier than the quest manager, because the quest manager also has to check if, like, ongoing quests are good and probably even hand out the rewards, right? Where the disaster is just, hey, I'm going to do something just to mess with everybody. And we could get it to, like, fire. Oh, God, imagine if it picks a random disaster every day. That'd be horrible. That would be horrible. What I do want to do, and I'll see if I can illustrate this. How do I do a new one with Control-N? Should have known that, right? What I would like to do is that, obviously, we have the game loop, right? The game loop... Well, that's a terrible game loop. Okay, let's try again. Okay, there's the game loop. So in the game loop, whenever we go through a day or a month or a year, depending on how often we want to check these things, there's a few different things that are going to get called that will happen, right, in each of the loops. And like I said, one of them will be the quest manager. And it'll do all that complicated stuff that I said. One of them will be the disaster manager. Right? And the disaster manager will probably just look, will query and find out like when the last disaster was. Okay? It'll do like a lookup into a disaster record. Okay? And when it does that lookup into the disaster record, it'll then decide, do I want to do a new disaster? And if it does, then it does the create function for it'll randomly choose a disaster. So it'll need to do a choice. And then it'll create the disaster. And the quest manager, so the quest manager will work in a similar way, but it's going to be a little bit more complex, right? You could make the next disaster happen in a random time frame. Yeah, I'm going to do something. What I was going to do is I was going to have it so that the longer it's been without a disaster, the higher the chance of the disaster happening, right? Wouldn't it be more fun if the disaster happens at the end of a quest and the winner is immune to the effect? Maybe. I mean, it can be quite difficult to make people immune to some of the things that happen all over the place. Yeah. So take current date, min day as my. I was thinking about some sort of. I would prefer the graph for. Let's see. If we have like the number of days. Oh god, that's a funny day. Days passed along the bottom, and we have like the % chance of it happening. I ideally want it to be like kind of almost like logarithmic, right? So that towards the beginning there is like next to no chance that it's going to happen, right? And then as days go on, slightly more chance. But as you continue, like the odds of it happening just absolutely skyrocket. So the further you go, the much higher the odds. It's not linear. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking for this. And that'll probably be for quests as well as disasters. You could make it x squared, maybe. Something like that. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking for that one. Alvin Brawl, 9 months membership. Hello, welcome to you. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Check So Kid says GS date allows you to check between dates for the length. You think? Yeah, that's what we can do. So what we'll probably do is we will have some sort of global variable, and this is a good it might be a global. It might just actually be in the disaster manager. So the disaster manager will probably be go like, it will know the last time it had a disaster. Would we want exponential growth for that? I think so. I think that exponential growth would be good. Yeah. Maybe you could make a generic random event generator. So, thank you very much for the super chat. Been a while since you came to a stream. Well, it's always good to have people come around and come to stream. So thank you very much for the super chat. This isn't a gaming stream, so to speak. We are looking at the game, but I'm doing dev work for the mods. Whilst we're here, actually, whilst we're in this scene, I'm just going to refresh something. No, we are still 6 people away from me having to get up and change that particular notification in the background there. So yeah, I think I'm not sure if it is exponential. I don't think it's logarithmic. So I think exponential would be good. So like the further you get away from stuff, the more it's more likely to happen. So if you've just had a disaster, you know you're relatively unlikely to have a disaster sometime soon. You have a get current date, and then you can put get month, get year, and add and subtract from it. Yeah, yeah. I think I've used some of those functions in some of the loops that we've been doing. Yeah. Do an offset to give you a period with no events for one few days or whatever. I mean, that's the whole point of it being exponential. So it's like ridiculously unlikely to be one day after the next, although it's technically possible. And I kind of like that. I like that it is technically possible that you could have a quest and then the next day another quest, or a disaster and then the next day another disaster. But it's just really unlikely, and it adds that sort of variability to the whole scenario. Like if you have a linear, like, oh, it's, every day it's more likely, like it's double more likely or something, or it's like one more likely, then it's on a double dice roll it's going to be 7. Then again, like there's a kind of average of the whole sort of thing anyway. So that's what I was going to do for that. So I think we need a quest class, we need a disasters class, then the quest will build the quest manager. I need to make a note of this, don't I? We haven't got anything that we use for this sort of thing. We've got no proper tracker, task tracker, have we? We was going to use the stuff in GitHub, I think. Let's go into here. So, right. Actually, that's plans. Let's put an overall like to do file in, right? Yeah. Things are going good, yeah. GitHub has a to-do. Yeah, I think we need to do that. Yeah, we're going to create a to-do list or an issue list in GitHub. Not going to do that right now. I'm going to make notes here now, and then I'll create them at a later date. Because tomorrow I have a big video dropping at midday. Sunday we have an extra live stream happening that I have to prepare for. Then on Monday I've got to do a brand new short for a Hellish news series that I'm starting, as well as starting to get Wednesday's video made, as well as Monday night we've got Factorio happening on the second channel. And then that means that if I haven't had much time on Monday, then Tuesday I've got to make the video for Wednesday. You need to talk to me more about that at some point, says Brandon. Yes, I may have some availability tomorrow, so just drop me messages and I'll reply when I can, Brandon. Yeah, it is a busy week. It is a busy week. Like it's busy. Things are normally busy, but it's like extra busy. Okay, so I'm gonna say we need to separate quests. There we go. And also then create a quest manager. Right. We also need to separate disasters. And then create a disaster manager. Now, if you want to the issues feature GitHub. I can help you manage that. Yeah, let's connect on. Maybe a couple of us will get together about that in a couple of weeks, and hopefully it won't be so crazy. I think I spelled disaster wrong again, but I'm now thinking we need a how to spell disaster. We don't need to do that. Yeah, figure out how to spell disaster. In fact, just basically just be better if I just learnt to spell. I'm thinking we also need like... See, do we have an event manager that then decides when quests and disasters happen? Maybe. But I'm also thinking we should add some... what's the word I'm looking for? What are these things? Where are they gone? In the info notes, there is settings, right? And in settings, you create oh look, there's a proper to do icon there. Oh, I'll have to remember about that. There's I got distracted. There's a setting, right? So what we want to do is we could have a setting for frequencies. So if I rename this file to just to-dos, and then we get a little tick box next to the file name. So we're going to say add settings for event frequencies. Event frequencies. And then really add event manager. So then the event manager can look at the event frequencies and work out if we need a to tell the quest manager or the disaster manager what to do. Do you think that's worth it? Or is that a layer too much? Should we just like at every time we're in a loop say check with the quest manager, check with the disaster manager? Yeah, because like if we had lots of different things, lots of different sorts of events, like I listed them, then we need an event manager. But considering we've only got 2 different types of events, that's fine. We don't need that. So we can say we can have quest frequency. So we can have a setting for quest frequency, a setting for disaster frequency, right? And that'll just modify the curve. Remember, you have an event handler for in-game events that may need... Yeah, that may need something else. So we're just not going to have an event handler. We'll just call the quest manager and the disaster manager in the loops. So then we need to add yearly, monthly, and daily loops. And then we can fire different things in different parts of the loops. So maybe we only check for for quests every month, but we check for disasters every day. Okay. I mean, the main loop is really the script manager, right? It manages everything in the script, but it's going to hand off quests and disasters. Obviously, we're going to need to create rewards. Right? We haven't done any rewards yet. Probably like tools. I'm not sure if tools and rewards are going to be the same thing or not. We might need a league table just to show people what tools and rewards they're going to get and things. But then at some point, we're also going to use the goal feature to track quest and other progress. Right? I don't know why the T on track came out. So we'll use the goal feature for that. Now, we also need a master. We're going to need a manager for the actual Royale part of it, for the eliminations and stuff. So in here, we've got like the fail conditions, like if somebody's gone bankrupt and if somebody's in last place at elimination time, or like have they killed the most people and that sort of thing. So basically, if a company goes bankrupt, they're the ones that got eliminated. If they had a crash, if nobody goes bankrupt and then somebody had a crash, they go bankrupt. If there's multiple companies that have had crashes, who's killed the most people? Maybe. And then if none of them are true, then it's the person that's in last place. The problem is that we're going to have to define what last place is. It might be money. I don't know. So then there's going to be some sort of elimination manager. And we're probably also going to have... There's going to be like an environment manager or something, yeah? Environment manager. Chaser Kid says, not sure we can track kill people yet. That's coming in version 15. Yes, it is. It's coming in version 15. So we can't do that yet. Unless we just build to version 15. The thing is, the amount of time that it's going to take to do all these different things and then put it all together, test it, iron out the bugs, make the improvements we want to make, is probably going to be version 15 sort of time by the time that this sort of thing comes out, right? Having said that, you know what? We've already written some quests that work. We've already written some disasters that work, okay? The more we do, the quicker it's going and the better it is, but also then the complexity is going up too. So the environment manager, that's going to be the one that like shrinks the world. So it's going to blow stuff up around the edge of the world. Blow things up around the edge of the world. And lower land around the edge of the world. The only problem with that at the moment, right, is that hang on a second. If you can get the manager infrastructure set up, the rest will flow quicker anyway. Yeah, the thing is here, right, and this is important, right, we are setting ourselves up for success, right? I could have thrown pretty much all of this just into the main script and just said, oh, right, well, we'll just like do this every day, or we'll check that every day. Because Max is going to bed. All right, get to bed, get a good sleep, and then get yourself ready for tomorrow's video coming out at midday UK time. Yeah. Jukula says, came across your channel a couple of months ago via Shorts, and when I was introduced to OpenTTD, I wanted to say thanks for introducing me to such a fun game. Fun the great tutorials. Well, you're welcome. We're actually doing some mod development for some of the stuff for OpenTTD right now. A little bit of planning at the moment. We've already done a little bit of coding. If anybody in chat can think of a little job that will take about 10 or 15 minutes, shout out. Don't say, oh, code this entire new disaster manager. No, just a little thing that's going to help us, even if it's just like news checking or something, whatever. So I can't remember what I was going to say now. Yeah, the idea is the world's going to get smaller and smaller. I don't think we can destroy the industries, though. So let's go and have a look, see if we can at the API and see if we can destroy the industries. So there's industry, and we can check if it's valid. We can get its name. We can get its construction date. We can set some text. There's some custom text in an industry. Is cargo accepted? See whether an industry accepts a certain cargo. So it's a check. Get the stockpile. Get the production. The transported. Whether it's built on water, has a heliport, whether it has a dock, and get the dock location, the industry type and stuff. We can set control flags. I'm not sure what the control flags are. We can set the exclusive supplier, and we can set the exclusive consumer, right? But we can't close an industry down. I was really hoping that you could close an industry down using the API, but you can't. Write an operating system that can run OpenTTD. Loads of them already can. I was hoping, Egg. I was really hoping that you could close an industry, but you can't. Maybe there's a way we could blow an industry up somehow. Can we give the magic bulldozer? There is the tile tool, right? We can say is station tile, is a slope, is a half tile, is farm, rock, rough, snow, desert, terrain type, and so forth. We can get the owner of the tile and transport types and stuff. Cargo acceptance and production of the tile, distances between tiles. Now, there's one here that's demolished tile, right? Set production level, can close it down. I mean, yeah, but the problem is that we can't then dig. Set the exclusive consumer supplier to the server so it can stop producing it. Well, like set it to -1 or something. There isn't a server like company, but I think maybe set production level would be closest thing. Anyway, this demolished tile here says, right, destroys everything on a given tile. But in our testing, that didn't happen, did it? I don't think it did. Unless I'm missing something, right? News, object types, orders, priority queues. Let's just go back to... What's this infrastructure? Oh, it's like the infrastructure maintenance stuff. Alright, okay. So yeah, if we go back to the industry, there is set production level, right? Sets the current production at the level of the industry. The thing is, I think that will keep changing, right? And also, the secondary problem is that if that industry is on high land and we can't remove it, then that means we can't lower the land around it, and companies could still do stuff on that land, like have a dock or even a heliport. And we don't want them to be able to do that. We want the entire world to get smaller. Should we do that part of the script next week? Should we try and destroy a world so that every day it gets a bit smaller? I think that'd be really good to do. Right, what we got here? Can you buy the land? You probably could if you was acting as somebody. You can raise land, plant trees, level the tiles. Create an admin company. There is a lot of problems that is in this that could be solved by creating an admin company. I would rather not do that because it's extra setup for the user. But if we have to, the demolished tile has an exception for an area not clear. So, not sure it will allow you to destroy a tile with an industry on it. Exactly. We did that. We tried that, and it doesn't do it. I can't remember which stream it was. I think we still have the code, right? We had the testing script. I wonder if we can just do that. Yeah, look, lower tiles. 2 different lower tile functions there, apparently. Demolish tile. Here we go. So this is our demolish tile loop. If I can uncomment that. Can I push this? And we try it. So this is the testing script. Yeah, Master Hellish TS. Let's give that a try. I did it! So let's abandon this. We'll go to game script, select game script, Master Hellish testing script. New game. Oh no, the earthquake happened. I didn't think the earthquake was meant to happen. I thought it was meant to delete stuff. Oh no, it is deleting stuff. So there you go, look, it's deleting the town, which is cool. We could actually just delete a town, destroy a town. That needs to be in the list. Start from the center of town, just delete stuff. Just remove the town. And then maybe grow it again later. So that's the script. Now, I think, looking at this, we might get to that industry. And we'll be able to see that nothing happens. Yeah, because it's doing a square in the middle of the map. So it does trees, it does rivers, it does towns, it does roads. It doesn't do company stuff. Just go straight through the industry. Right? So this is something that we can do for like disasters and events and stuff, right? Oh look, we're going to go up to that sawmill as well. But it doesn't solve our industry problem. Which is a shame. It'd have been really nice if it solved the industry issue. Oh, we're only 2 people off. Okay. While we're in here, right? Why is it doing 2 different things? I only want it to do one thing. Where... I can't read this. This is too big. Smaller, please. Thank you. Was it in the... Oh, it's in the post in it. There we are. There's the... There's the code for the earthquake. So we can comment that out. You would change its production to -1 so they can't get anything from it. The thing is... Chigzo Kid, is that I think that production will then change, because production does change. So you'd have to keep setting the production to 0, to -1. I wonder if you can set the industry to be like a null owner. No, I bet if you set it to a null owner, then it opens it up to all owners, doesn't it? Biscuits. So, back to this. We can't blow an industry up using the tile class. We can't close an industry using the industry class. We can set a owner, which we don't really want to do. Set an exclusive supplier and exclusive consumer, right? we can set the production level which has got to be between 4 and 128. So we can't change the production to -1. So that's not going to work. And it looks like you need to be in company mode to set the exclusive rights to take or give cargo. Yeah, you can pass it company invalid to reset. Forward production is horrible, but the whole point of what we're trying to do, right, is that in a game of Battle Royale, one of the things that kind of defines a game is that, like, there'll be some areas of land, and then there'll be like a zone around that land, and then throughout the time the zone like goes in, right? That's something that is pretty iconic for a battle royale. Like the play area gets smaller, right? So what I was hoping to do in OpenTTD was I was going to periodically blow up everything round the edge of the map, right? And then lower the land. I was just going to blow it up, blow it up, blow it up, blow it up, and then lower the land. Blow it up, lower the land, just round the edge. And I was going to just do that from the outside, and then, of course, work my way inwards. Well, that's not inwards. Inwards. Right? And it, for towns, roads, trees, rivers, that works great. For infrastructure companies, I think we can do that fine. I think we can just blow it up as the company. But the problem is that for industries, they just will not go away. Just look our Viewer Plus subscribers. New Viewer Plus subscriber. Fantastic. Frosty Z is now a Viewer Plus subscriber for 4 months. Thank you very much for all the support. Gerald says, in some ways, buying the land aesthetically would look more similar to a battle royale. That's true. And I guess if you're buying the land as it goes in, but then again, like you'd need a company to buy the land, and then you'd use that company. I'm not sure if there's a land purchasing thing. Set control flags can use value 0, so no to the no production decrease, and 1 for the no production increase. By the way, I'm not familiar with the control flags, so if you've got more information on that, that'd be great. But yeah, like it'd be effectively good to close the. If you could give me an example, I love examples. If you give me an example, that'd be great. So. Let me just check something. That's fine. What are we talking about? Brandon says the problem with buying land is it doesn't delete track and stuff. I mean, we can blow up track. We can blow up trees. We can blow up pretty much everything except the industries. I mean, we could even do it so we don't blow up buildings and roads. We just blow up like stations and track and stuff. We can do that. I'm almost certain of it. You just need to be using it in the company mode. There's a company mode thing. Then once you're in company mode, you do like rail, and then I think there's a. So you can build rail stations. You remove rail waypoint tile, rectangle. Remove all rail station platform pieces within the rectangle. remove rail track, remove the rail track on a given tile. So we can do that. We can choose a tile, find out who the owner is, find out if it's track, and then just remove it. So that's not a problem. Have you checked if there's a root company, like a root user on Linux? I don't think there is, Rasmus. I haven't seen anything in the documentation about it. Jared says, although you could still maybe use boats if you could raise... if you could raise it down to water, you could potentially just use boats. I think, the buying of tiles would probably something that would potentially stop that. There must be like a sign, road, rail, map. Is it? No, it can't be map, right? No, it's not map. Marine. Water tile is canal. We could just build canal, but then they'd be able to use the canal, and then they would also be able to delete it. So we're looking for a solution to shrink the world right now, and I think that's a good use of our time, because maybe we'll do that next week instead of whatever it was I said I might do, because I like the idea of just shrinking an OpenTTD world. Okay, what can we do? We can rail and stuff, get name crossings, rail types, and remove it, and build signals, get maintenance and speed costs. What we got in the town directories. You know what? In version 15 you can build buildings. I don't know if there's any update to the API that would be useful for that. I haven't seen anything. Get the road layout. What we got in the viewport? What's this? Scroll to. No, we don't want that. Making OpenTTD into a master blaster. Well, it's going to be a Hellish Royale. That's the whole point. I've got all this sort of stuff here. What's this? Oh my goodness. So many enums. One would assume if I can build, I can destroy too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure that's going to be useful. Yeah, this kind of is a key aspect, and I'm hoping we can figure something out. What's this admin thing? Oh, it's the admin port. Yeah, I don't care about that. Airports? Airport information, tiles, coverage, hangars, remove an airport, get nearest town and stuff. What's in GS base? Random range. Chance, cancel lights, okay. Oh, there's a base station here. So for all of the stations and waypoints, there's get owner, get name, set name, get location, get construction date. Well, you can get the construction date. Bridges. You can just build loads of bridges everywhere. Don't think that would really work. The cargo monitor is not going to work. Client-related functions for getting companies and stuff. Join dates, don't care about that. Company class, I don't think there's much we can do in that one. We can set loans and that's another thing we're going to do, is like give money by setting loans and stuff. And loans amounts. Build headquarters and move them around. Could just do it so that every day we check for infrastructure outside of a zone and just destroy it. Like, just constantly destroy everything, and the circle just gets smaller and smaller. And then there'd be no way of seeing where that circle is. It'd probably be a square, to be honest. Goals. I think we're going to struggle. Group related functions. Create group, delete group. Wagon removal on groups. Group colors, industry stuff, but nothing that is useful to us. Infrastructure. Oh yeah, we checked that. Log, map. Get tiles, get distance, get squared, get distance from edge. Then there's the marine stuff, news, object type. Get name, get views. Get build, get rid now. Order, railroad, sign. Yeah, there's just random signs, but they don't stop people building stuff, right? Story page, subsidy, test mode, tile. There's nothing in the tile that we can do. We can build tree, right? Is farm tile, is rock tile, is get, has, get, raise, lower, level. This is why I thought about lowering the land, right? Yeah, destroy. That's the one that we demonstrated here. So this is destroy tile. Oh, hang on a minute. There you go. So this is the destroy tile. Can you place radio mass on every tile? That'd be really nice. I would love to be able to do that, but I cannot see anywhere in the API that allows you to create radio mass. Oh, wrong thing. We can plant a tree. But that's about it. Raise and lower land. Build trees. And blow stuff up that isn't in industry. So the only way I was going to do it was to just blow up a load of stuff around the edge of the world and then lower it. But you'd still, like you said, you'd still be able to use ships. But you'd be out in the middle of nowhere with a ship doing nothing. So as long as we can disable the industries by using the flags, it'll work. So the industries will become on little islands, but they'll become useless. And everything else we can delete. So let's make a quick note of that, I think. So there's the environment manager. So we blow things up around the edge of the world. We lower the land around the edge of the world. And we disable the industries. Around the edge. Just thinking now, does it check to see if the ID you pass it for making it exclusive is a valid ID? Because otherwise you could just give it a big silly ID and it wouldn't be the ID of any of the companies. It probably does, right? So if we go to the industry page and go down to set supplier, is valid industry. What's this? Company mode. Check whether the company mode is not active. Check whether the company mode is not active, i.e. whether we are a deity. In other words, so you can't be in company mode. And it gives you a company ID. So should we try it? Should we give it a quick go? Let's try it. GS industry. We're in the we're going to use the messing around script thing, testing script. So what we'll do is say when we get to the init, we'll go to, and also I think there's something down here I need to redo. Oh no, not that. There we go. Right, okay. So we're going to get the industry class. We're going to call the set supplier. So if we can kind of like break it in a good way, that'd be great. Now the industry ID is going to have to be 0 because I have no idea who that is. And the company ID will make it 99999. And then we'll see what happens. Now we might get an error message, it might go horribly wrong. But I want to zoom us to the company. So to do that, in our quests, we have this. And we can change this to be industry. Oh, we'll do it that. We'll set the exclusive supplier. This is not a town. So this is GS News. We want to check that with. GS News. It is type of NR industry. And the ID is going to be 0. So that should help us just zoom to where we want to go. So we'll either get an error or we won't, and then we'll get a pop-up that lets us take us there. We're going to give it a shot. So if we can disable the industry, blow stuff and lower land, we can essentially shrink the world. Right. Let's go to OpenTTD. Give it a try. Okay, no error. This is our message. Apparently it's this industry. Now it doesn't actually tell us anything. Maybe I should try it with an ID that we know is valid and see if we could... I don't know if there's any difference. Like set exclusive supplier. Maybe it should note who the supplier... It might have failed. In fact, local... We'll get a local variable there, and we'll put that in the logs. So we'll just log it, just to find out what the output was. I have no idea. But it'll tell us one way or the other. I don't know what's going to happen. But when something happens, we shall see what that thing that happened was. So we can go over here. We know it's this industry because clicking on this takes us to it. If we go to the debug, it says true. Okay. And if we click on it, it doesn't tell us anything. If we do land area information, it's just a coal mine. So it worked. It just doesn't tell us that it worked, which is weird. There's no note of like the owner of the input or output, right? But that was with ID 0. Now, what happens if we give it like a company ID of 999999? Let's try again. Oh, I didn't transfer the script. Now I transfer the script. So, this is the coal mine. It came back as true. So it looks like you can set the company ID of the exclusive provider or supplier. So what happens now if I try and build a railway? Which one did I do? Did I do supplier or provider? I did supplier. Okay, let's also do the other one. So this is going to be the... we're looking for the... I mean, it's going to be the other word, isn't it? I just like to see it. Industry. Towards the bottom. So that was the provider, wasn't it? So this is now the set exclusive consumer that we're doing. So set exclusive consumer. We will do a better job at logging that. See what happens. I'm pretty sure that if can call this and log to see it after setting. Oh, get. Yes, that's a good idea. Let's do that as well. Yes. So there's a get for each one. So if we just basically grab that again, I and J, set these to get. I mean, update these to get. And then we don't need to put the actual ID in. Log that as well. It might well be that it works. It might well be that it doesn't. So that one's I. That one's J. And we'll go have a look. I'll transfer the files over to OpenTTD and we'll jump over to OpenTTD. We'll restart the script. Here it is. Let's have a look at the logs. Ooh, -1. And in the documentation... Oh! In the documentation, I think it said when you set it, you can set it to invalid company. But does invalid company resolve to -1? I don't know. I mean, then, like, I build a railway station. It says it supplies coal. Yeah, it's loading. Invalid would be -1. First contact was 0 in that increments. Yep. So it goes in as an invalid. It doesn't make it a big company. It has to be a valid company, otherwise it returns invalid. So that's weird, actually. That is not kind of the behavior I was expecting, because the call of setting the supplier to an invalid company comes back as true. So it successfully set it as invalid. So unfortunately, we can't do this. This isn't our solution. Need a new solution. And I'm not sure. I mean, we could set production levels, I guess. There's control flags though. I don't know what the control flags are. New flags. There's a white mark in here. OpenTTD in the background. My train's confused. There we go. I don't know what the control flags are. Are they listed up here somewhere? Let's have a look. So, cargo accept state. Oh, here we go. Industry control flags. No production decrease. No production increase. No closure. External production level. Indicates that the production level of this industry is controlled by the game script. So we can turn it down to 4, but we can't turn it to 0. I think. Looks like if you set the game, it will not change the level. But if min is 4, then it cannot turn off. Yeah, I know, right? You got to go. Birthday? You need to give him his Oh. Sure, definitely. So, to Steer Pike's sister's boyfriend, happy birthday. Hope you're having a good day. And enjoy. Oh, it's been a few birthdays about recently. There has. Yeah, I think this is something that needs to be sorted out. So what we'll do, right, everybody, is we'll continue this conversation over on the Discord in that particular channel that we've got set up. And when we get an idea of what can be done about this particular problem, I will set up the next dev stream to implement that, whatever that may be. You're in Cornwall? That sounds like a good place to go for your birthday. Yeah. Okay, folks. When is the next stream? That's a good question, actually. Let me have a look at my list. Where's my list gone? My list has legged it. Oh, Fran the Man's done another gift membership. There we are. Thank you very much, Fran the Man. How many gift memberships have you done this stream now, eh? A good number. Keeps my session open with the interaction portal. Making things pop up. It does. And let's just quickly see. Yeah, we're good. We're good. 3. Yes. Well, thank you very much for the gift memberships. These gift memberships, of course, are channel memberships, different to Viewer Plus, but all the support is appreciated. And yeah, I was looking at when the next dev stream was going to be. Where's my main master list? Here it is. There's my master list. So the next. Oh right, okay. So this was going to be the last Mod Dev Workshop for a little while, because we are going to be doing 2 trips down memory lane and then come back to Mod Dev. Okay. And we also are missing a week. So instead of it being a 3-week gap, it's actually going to be 4 weeks. But you know what? This gives us a chance to do some background work, doesn't it? So for next time, we'll have a plan about how we're going to shrink the world. And we'll have maybe sorted out the class system and maybe even added some of those nice to have features. Maybe finished the other type of quest. So we're going to do a little bit of background work. Keep an eye on it on the Discord. But make sure you keep an eye out for tomorrow's video at midday and Sunday's live stream. I look forward to seeing your reactions. And that is all I'm going to say on the subject. And the only other thing I'm going to say now is thank you very much for watching. Take care. And for now, goodbye everybody.